Hi everyone and welcome to the channel. Today we're making this little stainless sand my petty. If you'd like to see how it's made, follow along. So we've got our 5 layers, 2 pieces of 420 stainless, 2 pieces of nickel shim stock, and our core material of 1095. So we'll get these all clamped up in the vise. We're going to have to weld this one all the way around to keep all the oxygen out. Stainless doesn't like to forge weld to other materials, so we've got to give it the best oxygen-free environment we can get. This one's all welded up and ready to go into the forge. So we want to set these welds nice and gently, just taking small little bites at the beginning, and over time we'll be able to push a little bit harder. In our first few heats, we really want to keep rotating the piece, making sure that we're applying pressure from both sides, keeping that core material nice and central. So now that we have the forge weld stuck, it's time to grind the welds off and keep going. So here we are isolating the tang material, trying to move all that steel up closer to the spine so it's more in line with where the handle is, and to try and waste as little material as possible. So using the same angle die, what we're going to do is we're going to start bringing down that material towards the tip of the knife. We'll do very, very little forging to shape on this knife, but it just helps maximize the material a little bit, just to make sure that we don't come up short. Now with the tang roughed in, it's time to start stretching it out. We'll change over to the drawing dies. These will move material a lot faster. As you can see, the drawing dies make it all want to curl up on me a little bit. But that's alright, as long as we just keep at it, we should be able to flatten it out in the next round of heats. Now that we've got some really rough forging done, it's time to grind in some little valleys, and that should give us a little bit more activity in the edge when it comes down to do our final etch. Now that we've gotten to the blade to a height that we're happy with, it's time to stretch it out a little bit. Just make it a little bit thinner, stretch that material out, and make sure that we've got enough length for the project. Now the tang's gotten a little bit down low, so what we need to do is just hammer it up a little bit straighter, get it a bit more perpendicular with the spine. With the tang straightened up, it's time to work on the profile just a little bit. I suck at hand forging, but all we need to do is get it a little bit straighter. Now it's time to reduce the tang material that actually goes down inside the handle. So what we need to do is we need to reduce that center section and stretch it out a little bit. Now just the last few heats just to get it all sort of squared away. As mentioned before, I suck at hand forging, but hopefully I can get this parallel enough between the spine and the edge to get the pattern we're after. And this is what we're left with after the forging, a little bit of rough grinding. As you can see, I've established the edge slightly just to make sure that we've got that core material right in the center before we go to heat treat. Now that we've got the knife heat treated and tempered, it's off to the grinder. So we've got it all ground in, up to 240 grit. It's starting to look a lot more like a knife now. We've got the edge established. It's all looking nice and thin. We can see a little bit of the pattern starting to show through there. You can see that nickel shim, and we've got all those ridges. Now a little test etch at 400 grit just to make sure we've got no stainless on the edge. It's all looking pretty good. And now it's time to go up the grits. So we've gone up through the grits. We're at 800 here, which should leave me a nice satin finish with a little bit of shine to it. Every knife maker hates hand sanding, but this is where you really start to see your knife come to life. So after bringing the entire surface up to 800 grit, we need to run over it and give it some pull strokes just to make all the lines nice and straight and take out any little J hooks or weird spots where you stop and start. Now you can see we've got a pretty consistent finish there. I'm going to call that one good. Now after the hand sanding is complete, we get to get into the ferric and we get to expose all the layers. Here we've got ourselves a piece of ring gidgee and a black G10 bolster. Get ready to get this one glued up. And here's our finished handle in a Japanese wa style. And with a quick look, a little maker's mark, and she's all ready to go. And here we are, all finished up. It really hit the look I was going for. Really something a little bit more rustic without looking super, super refined. A real knife that you'd be happy to pick up and use every day. Thanks for watching. If you liked what you saw, please consider giving the video a like and subscribing to the channel. Thanks very much, guys.